All right. All right. Hey, guys. This is the first episode of Maor's Plague podcast. And I'm not really used to to record myself, so it feels a bit weird. But I thought I'll say a few words on why I'm doing this. So basically, this virus created this huge hole in my routine and left me with a lot of free time. And I decided to create this project to not only pass the time but also try to connect to other people and maybe learn more on how other artists are facing these times and kind of dealing with um, this historical crisis. And also maybe create some interesting conversations about all kinds of stuff that could be interesting to just listen to and have fun. So without further ado, my first guest today is Andrei Sitari. Hey, Andrei.
Hey man, thank you for inviting me. I feel honored to be a part of the pilot of the coronavirus podcast, animation podcast.
The official Corona podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Thank you, man.
definitely the first because, I think first of all, I introduce who Andre is for the people who don't know, if there are any of those. Andre is like an amazing designer. He's a character designer. He does concept art, and he also was one of the team that created Ordelu, which is
Ordolo, Ordolo.
Ordelu. Yeah,
Yeah,
without
French is complicated.
yeah. So it's a short from Gobla. He went to Gobla, and it's it gets really viral, and it's like an amazing short. You guys should watch it. And basically, he's a super talented dude that I got to meet when I was in Paris. I did a semester in Gobla, and by that time, you weren't in the school anymore, right? You
Yeah, I just finished and I was on the roads of searching for jobs.
yeah. So yeah, we used to hang out a lot and talk a lot, and we had a lot of interesting conversations about, I don't know, art and animation and I don't know, all kinds of
Life in
shit,
general, yeah.
life in general. So yeah, it was only natural that I'll invite you to this show and try to recreate one of those conversations.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's real nice. Here is late, and I have nothing else to do. Yeah, and
Oh,
it's been a
you're in
while.
Moldova, right?
Sorry.
You're in Moldova.
Yeah, I'm
Moldova.
back in Moldova for a few months now, until summer probably. And I'm blessed to be here during the lockdown because I'm with my family. We have a quite a big house, enough space for everyone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's actually nice. It's been 2 weeks that I've been home. Like I didn't leave the home for 2 weeks now.
Oh
But
shit.
morally, it's fine because I know I have friends. Shout out to Mohammad Huhu, my Lebanese friend, who you should definitely invite on the podcast, man. He's a real nice dude, and
Oh
he's
yeah, I know
now,
him. Yeah, he's
uh,
super cool dude.
yeah, he's in Paris now, by himself during the lockdown, and I know it's like tough times, man.
Oh shit.
When
Wait, so in Moldova, it's a complete lockdown. You guys all
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been 2 weeks now since the
holy shit.
lockdown.
And wait, you do go out to like buy shit at the supermarket and stuff?
Yeah, we have the right to do that, but like it's been a few days that they passed like a new bill, which like if you're going in park in like without any real reason to go outside, like grocery shopping or like medicine or I don't know, you might be fined by the police like up to 1,000 euros, which is a lot for people here,
Oh shit.
Yeah,
So
the
like basically
shit's getting real,
there's police people just patrolling and asking you if you're in the street, they're gonna ask you where you're going
I'm
and shit?
uh I'm telling I'll tell you what, man. I don't watch the news. I try to stay away from that shit because it's already depressing by them,
Yeah, totally.
like just the situation. So I know if I'm gonna like read all that stuff, it's just gonna be like my productivity will gonna dip, into the abyss, and I don't want to do that. So like my mother stresses already for me, you know.
Yeah.
She's on the hook with all the international news about coronavirus. So I don't know
Yeah.
actually if there
Actually,
are.
you can totally get addicted to it. I think the media is like trying to constantly just create more news, even when there is nothing new, and it's like this ever-going feed that you can just get in it and get
Yeah,
addicted.
I think it's like a huge gold mine for the media. You know, it's like, people gonna check your shit if you're gonna write about coronavirus. So they do that, and they try to dramatize it as much as possible. But I still don't check it. I have friends that do, and they're very depressed. And come on, let's be optimistic, because it's not the end of the world. Like the humanity passed through way worse time than this. We have like the comfort to be like to have food, and to have a computer with internet. That's amazing. You can
Yeah, it's
work.
like the best time to be quarantined, right? In history.
Absolutely,
We have
absolutely. This
Netflix.
is the best time. Maybe in the future it's gonna be even better. With the VR and shit. You'll have holograms of your friends around you.
Yeah,
But
like Power Rangers,
absolutely,
You have like this
yeah,
huge round
morphin
room.
time, morphin time. No, but thus far I think, yeah, it's the best time to be quarantined, and which I try to do because I'm a responsible citizen.
Yeah, yeah. Some people are not taking that seriously, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it's a little bit shitty for sure.
Yeah,
Because of them, it'll take more time actually to pass, like to fight the pandemic. The
yeah.
more people will stay outside, the longer this shit will take. So people stay
Stay the
back
fuck
home,
at home.
man. Yeah,
Actually,
lockdown.
my relationship with the virus was kind of, it's ever changing. Like at first, I was one of those people who were like, "Dude, it's like it's a flu. Come on." And I was like,
Yeah,
just chill, all right? Everyone chill. Just I'll be kind of, I don't know, not very serious about it. But then I think it was last weekend. Uh, I sneezed, and
oh shit. There's a meme. There's a
and
meme
it
about that.
created this like terrible fear that I got it and I'm gonna die. And I started like fucking googling like the death rates of
The,
coronavirus and like how common it is, and then
yeah,
got into the whole media loop and started reading the news, and I read about everything that's happening in like Italy and Spain, and I mean
yeah.
that stuff is serious. It's like,
It's serious, but it's not that bad as we think. This is not the Black Plague. This is not the Spanish flu. During 1918, there was like the Spanish flu, which it didn't come from Spain apparently, but the Spanish talked more about it because they had free press, right?
hmm,
So they called it Spanish flu, and 30 million people died.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now we're like at 15,000. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to numbers. I'm sorry about that, but it's not that
You did your research,
dramatic.
man. You did your homework.
Yeah, it's not as dramatic. Like 80% of people who get the virus, they're like mild symptoms. You can stay at home. You don't pass it to others, and your body will just naturally fight it.
Yeah,
But
sure.
as citizens, we have to protect those who are more vulnerable than us. There are people with autoimmune deficiencies, people like respiratory, how do you call it? Breathing problems. Let's say it,
Yeah.
and of course the old people. That's why we're doing it for them, not the young people who like full of energy and like ready to fight any
Yeah.
virus.
Yeah, for
We
sure. So how
we're
is
good,
it
yeah.
wait, in Moldova, is it really spread? Like, is there a lot of cases or?
Man, government doesn't
Oh,
want to
you don't know.
panic,
You don't
the
really know yet.
population. So I don't know, like the official numbers were like at 126 for like 2 million 2 million persons, like citizens, sorry,
Okay.
which is, yeah, quite a lot, but I think there are way more. My,
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
personal belief.
So how do you pass the time? Like, what are you doing right now?
Man, you won't believe what I'm gonna say, but in these 2 weeks, I had the most productive 2 weeks in my life. It's crazy,
Really?
man. I think during my stay in Paris in 2019, just after school, actually, I had a rough time morally and psychologically. I would stay at home. I got some jobs here and there, and mainly freelance. And I had days where if I had food in my room, because I cannot call it a flat, it was just a room with a bathroom, right?
Yeah.
If I had food, I wouldn't go out for like 3 days. It's crazy.
Just
Yeah, yeah.
working
It was like
or?
no, bad habits, bad habits.
Mm,
Like it was work and like spending wasting time on my PC, right? And I learned from that experience. Now I know I don't have to do that. I have to socialize more because our job requires a lot of sitting down, staring to a screen.
yeah,
Uh,
it can be
yeah,
harmful, like mentally, you know. I think
absolutely.
something I'm still learning all the time is like what my brain and body needs in order to be productive. And sometimes it's really counterintuitive. Like there's something in us that says, no, you gotta fucking put in the time and the work and work all day and sleep
Yeah,
like 5 hours so you can
yeah,
be good. But to be honest, I don't know. Some people it's really good for them. Like it's cool. I I went to school with some people that could actually do it and stay creative, but I don't know. My brain is getting older or something. I can't, even if I'm sitting and I'm working, like after I think 7 hours or 8 hours, you're like checking out kind of, you know? You're just making
yeah.
lines on a
Absolutely,
page, basically. It's not creative
absolutely.
anymore. It's not fresh.
I'll tell you what, man. This is a constant battle for me since I started getting more seriously into art. Getting like, let's say, more competitive.
Yeah.
Quotes. I'm making quotes like air quotes. More competitive with art. Like since I decided to go to Gobelin and I had to work a lot.
It's pretty
Uh,
competitive there, right? I
yeah,
think a lot
yeah.
of people heard about this school, but not a lot of people know how it is in there. Like,
Yeah, we can talk about that later. Let's finish with the what do we do during Corona time?
yeah,
Because I have like
let's
some.
put one
If you
crisis at a time, you know?
Yes, absolutely. I can share with you like with our fellow animation and the comic book and like creative industries peers, like the way I see productivity.
Yeah.
I was like when I was younger, like you. I mean, when I would think that, like you said, that the more you work, the less you sleep, the more you're gonna produce, the more, again, air quotes, the more productive you'll be. That's
Yeah.
total bullshit. Your
I mean,
body is not like that,
yeah, for
from
sure,
my
for
view.
sure. But I
Like
mean, to be
the
honest, when I was a kid, when I was like even a teenager, I could do it, you know? I think
probably,
those were
probably,
different times.
but we're
First of
old now,
all,
right?
I wasn't under any pressure. It was just me trying to have fun.
Yeah,
So it's a bit different. And the other thing is, I don't know, I think like when you're young, this is everything you have to think about, you know? Just you're free, you have so much free time. It's just different. And your brain is younger, I guess.
yeah. I guess you have more like natural energy.
Yeah.
But I was never like that. I was never like that. I love my sleep since I was, I don't know, since forever. I love my sleep. I do not understand. I have buddies, friends of mine that would go to sleep at 4 in the morning and wake up at 9, like just 5 hours of sleep and then continue working. This is just crazy. They keep doing that. Like I don't know how they do it, man. It's for me, it's
So
like
one of the
a
things you
special
try to
power.
keep is like regular sleeping times.
Yes, that's one of my, like, not just the amount of hours I sleep, but also the time I go to bed and I wake up.
Oh, for
Very
sure.
important
I'm the
to
same.
like,
Same.
yeah, to create this routine, like sleep routine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I notice even that sometimes when I force myself with the aim to be more productive, like to have more time to work, I force myself to wake up in the morning, right? I
Yeah.
would be less productive because I'm a little bit more sleepy during the day, so I would produce less. like I would stay in front of a computer, right? Where I would try and work, but in the end, I would focus. I would have a hard time focusing, comparing to when I just naturally wake up, and then like go head on to start the day and to start my work, which is way better for
For
sure.
sure.
So
And how long do
getting
you sleep every night, if I can ask?
7 hours. That's my rule. 7 hours, 7 hours 30, no less and no more. Definitely no more. It's the same effect as sleeping less.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you actually it's actually like proven scientific fact. If you sleep more than 8 hours, like if you go towards 9 hours, your body will start feeling tired again.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. Actually, yeah, I also sleep like around 8 hours, I think, maybe a bit more, but I don't know. It's part of it is because I don't have a boss. Like I'm my own boss right now.
Yeah.
It's really hard to decide to get up before 9.
Yeah, now I try to wake up at
Mm.
7:30, I'm sorry, but I usually wake up at 8. That's my my magic number, 8, and then I start working by 10, because I got some other routines I do to help me with the productivity, which is meditation and
Oh shit!
having a
Yeah,
good.
you also do. I meditate twice a day, man. It's
Oh,
awesome.
it's really nice. I meditate 20 minutes in the morning. Uh, when I started meditating, I was like, oh shit, I should do it more, like twice a day or 3 times a day. But I decided like just I'm gonna focus in to do like the exercise as well as I can in the at the beginning of the day, so I can set my like the mood of the day, right?
Yeah, that's incredible.
Uh,
It's really
yeah,
clever.
and
And
I
what type of
also
meditation?
practice.
What type of
Sorry.
meditation do you do?
Well, I downloaded an app called Headspace, and I
Oh,
bought the subscription for 1 year, which will expire in July. So I don't know if I'll I'll buy it again, but it was super helpful. I do feel like I've been meditating for months now, right? And I do feel like I'm more aware, I'm more present, cautious, in my life than I was before. I catch myself like when I have strong feelings, when uh, when I'm not as much in the present as I should be. Uh,
for sure.
yeah, this is it helps a lot with with the productivity as well. I think
Like it
I
seems
think
like you're practicing mindfulness meditation.
mindfulness, yes.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I really don't. I'm not very lectured in that domain. I just try and do it. I have like it's guided meditation. One guy
That's
just like
okay, man.
sit
I think
down, breathe
that's the
in,
thing. A
breathe
lot
out.
of people, I think a lot of people are kind of afraid. I was trying to convince my mom to start meditating because she's like a bit anxious, and especially now. And we actually talked about it today. And
Yeah,
she keeps thinking that you kind of really need to put a lot of energy to it and learn about it. And it's like this whole thing that you gotta do that's like difficult or whatever. And people need to learn that it's not. It's like actually meditating those 20 minutes a day that I meditate are the most calm and the least energy consuming minutes of my day. They're great.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
really, the rules for, there's no rules, but like the guidelines for meditating, you can learn them in like 20 seconds. It's very basic. And
Yeah, well, yeah, it really depends. Like there are different techniques from what I learned.
mm,
Like there's like the noting technique when you're like it's a combination of nothing and noticing, like noting.
yeah, but the,
Um,
the main principles of mindfulness, it's
it's just being
basically,
mindful, right? It's just being aware of
it's
what happens
that
in your body and
becoming
it,
aware and returning your consciousness to the now, right? That's the
yes.
main tool.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. This is a huge problem for me. Not being in the present, always in the future, or like rarely in the past, but a lot of time in the future. Like what will happen in the future? Future projects, future relationships, future I don't know experiences, and and this is a bummer, man. We should be more in the present and like be happy with what we have, even if we're ambitious, right?
Yeah,
Be happy with the people we're surrounded by. Where are we at in our career at the moment? I mean, just let's be happy and try to strive for more, but we shouldn't like just stay always with the head in the
for sure,
future in
for
like in
sure.
a anyways. I'm going
I
all
think
nostalgic and sad.
no, but that's really.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are thinking about this kind of stuff, and meditation is just, for me at least, it's an amazing tool to deal with it. And I think I've been practicing mindfulness for like a few years now, um,
Oh,
and
nice. Wow.
I feel like it keeps giving. You know, at first you're like, okay, I'm more calm and stuff, but over time, I think it teaches you about your brain. Like you kind of start
Does
noticing
it?
what your brain is doing, your mind is doing
Yeah.
in the moment, and sometimes you become aware of like, hey, I'm like in this vicious cycle that's just hurting me. And
Yes.
meditation
Yes.
gives you the aware, like it makes you aware and being able to actually stop it and go back to the moment, and that's amazing.
Do you think meditation helps you to focus when you work?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Makes me more creative and it makes me more focused when I'm working.
Yes. That's what I feel as well because there's also like this concept of monkey mind, right? Where the mind jumps all over the place. So what we have to do is just give a test to the mind and try to convince it to focus only on that task. It's like a Buddhist monk technique or something like that.
Yeah,
And I did feel the beneficial effect on my focus since I started meditation. I definitely can focus more on my work and like on one task than before. And in the end, focus is another like skill we have to practice and to develop.
yeah. You know, I've been thinking a lot about character design lately and art in general.
Yeah,
And
welcome to the club.
and I do feel like it makes a big difference if while you're doing it, you're really feeling it. You're feeling the character, you know? You're not just using your knowledge, you're also actually there in the moment and you're like feeling who that person is and what they're doing right now and like what makes them take that pose. And I noticed that when I try to be there more, my designs have more life to them and they're
Yeah,
more convincing.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Uh, as students, we tend to focus a lot on the technique. I feel,
Which is
and we
important.
should.
You know?
Yeah, it's very important. But I think with time, I'm not saying necessarily I got there, but like I think I should get there uh, with practice. But it's like what you're saying, like try and feel more and like try to uh, how to say visualize, right? When you try to create a character, try to visualize more, not just like the design, like the technique, but also who's the character, what does it feel. It's very stereotypical because we heard that so many times for other artists, but until you do not feel it yourself, it's just useless information. I feel.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, in character design, you talked about technique and you know how you need to know it but not make it your main goal. And I really believe in that because I used to be the other way around. I used to think,
I think I still am,
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure,
you're
for sure.
pretty, I mean, your technique is amazing, but I kind of shifted away from that. And I think it's good because I don't know. To me, drawing, I guess the main stuff a lot of people are concerned about is drawing and is my drawing good enough or my volumes are consistent and shit like that and the anatomy.
Yeah,
And I feel like it should be like learning a language, right? Because it is our language. You know, we use drawing to express things, to communicate ideas. And
Yeah.
I think ideally, like when you use a language, you shouldn't be thinking about the grammar and the meaning of every word you're saying. You should be just, just using it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Without
Yeah. Yeah.
overthinking about it, or trying to show off how awesome your words and
Well,
are.
there are people like that, definitely, who know a lot of amazing words.
Yeah,
Uh,
which is, I mean, it's nice, but I don't know. I'm not really interested in that anymore, personally. It's like some people are really about just showing off, and I mean, I'm saying it in a negative way, but it doesn't. It's not necessarily negative. They're just excited about the technique itself. About, oh, I learned these awesome words, and I can use these great expressions, and it's the command of that language is really exciting to them, and I guess to some other people too. And sometimes when I'll see an amazing drawing, I'll be really excited about like the technique parts of it. But I think it's really important to remember that what you're saying is more important about how you're saying it. More
yeah,
important than how you're saying it.
yeah. But man, in general, character design as as I see it, in the end, is just a tool, like that should serve the story. And you can visualize and you can feel what the character's feeling, and like create amazing poses and expressions, and like I don't know, props for the characters. In the end, if there's no story, it's kind of useless. Uh, that's how, with the language. The language is a tool, but you can know amazing words, but if you do not say something meaningful, something that touches people, something that uh, creates relationships, creates, I don't know, connection with other humans, it's useless. Yeah, it's useless. So that's what I've been thinking lately. Yeah, I should get better in drawing. I should get better in my technique, but to what point? Like at some point, I should start exploring story as well.
It's not the goal, that basically.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely not the goal, and
I was
I
thinking,
mean,
actually, it made me think about this artist. His name is Kim Jong-ji. I hope
yeah.
that's how you say it.
I
Right?
hope so as well. But I know about
That's how
whom
you
you're
write it.
talking. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
he's incredible. I mean, I
I've
love his stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy what he does.
But
It's like
yeah, it's
godlike.
it's not very narrative, but I mean, still pretty cool.
Yeah, but in the end, I've been to one of his exhibitions in Paris a few years ago, and it's also about the experience. Because yeah, okay, when you check his art on the internet, it's something, but when you see like those huge chunks of paper on the wall, and you check them up close, and you see that the way he used the brush and to create such an amazing picture, with
Oh shit, it's incredible.
intricate characters, and it's still an experience. Like it still makes you feel something. It's almost like going to well, it's the same as going to a museum and checking the impressionists and Picasso, and it if it makes you feel something, it's still worth doing it, right?
Yeah, it's a specific type of art, and as you said, it's like I think the performance is a big part of it, right? Because it's actually
Absolutely.
doing it live.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But no, we're in animation, so it's a little bit different. Like we should tend to tell stories through the film and through the moving image. Uh, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a really interesting topic, the relationship between your story and like your tool or your technique. I guess you can talk about it for a long time, but anyways, yeah. So you're creating mostly character designs these days, right?
Yeah, 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 definitely.
And you're just what's your process? Do you write the characters before, or do you write the story, or
Well, it really depends. If I work, when I work professionally, like there's a job, a specific job, um I should know the story first, because I have to design something as closest to the vision of the director. If I'm doing characters for myself, like I'm doing right now in my spare time for my portfolio, yes, I still do write the characters. It has to be not like pages and pages, right? But at least to know like what archetype this character is, what his like strength and weaknesses, just like very briefly, because it's gonna narrow it down and it will be way easier to design. But there sometimes I'm gonna design just for fun. Sometimes just gonna like try shapes, which is more like towards the technique. Um, Sometimes I'm gonna see someone on the street and I was like, oh my god, he looks amazing, and then I'm gonna interpret it in a character design.
I think for
Uh,
me, it's like it's half and half. Like I always start writing before I design. Uh,
yeah,
and writing, I do two things. I write the characters, and sometimes there isn't a story, but like more of a general outline of what the story could be. Um, and I also look for references, and that's awesome
yeah.
because
References very important. Very
these
important
two are kind
references.
of they give me a feeling of what this character is. But then
Yeah,
after I do it, I start sketching and like exploring stuff. And sometimes, like my sketch will tell me something I didn't know about the character. You know,
yeah, yeah,
like all of
yeah,
a
yeah,
sudden I'll look at a drawing and it's like it has its own life. So I'm kind of following it and forgetting about what I decided it should be before, kind of.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, that's a process. Drawings can inspire story, and story can inspire drawings. Like it's like a circle, not a line. It's not linear. Uh,
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, we talked about it a bit before, but it would be interesting to talk briefly about your time at school, Gobla. I mean, for people who don't know Gobla, it's one of the best animation schools in the world. It's mostly focused on 2D, right? There is some 3D movies, but most of
Yeah, 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 yeah. Now it's well, it's still focused more on 2D, but comparing to like 10, 10 years ago, now we have more 3D definitely in the program. Uh, well, you have
so
to ask me a specific question about school. I'm happy to answer.
yeah, for sure. So basically, you got into Gobla, which is already fucking amazing because there's
Yeah,
like
it's fucking amazing for the people who dream to get into the school, but afterwards you have a different perspective on it.
yeah,
But
for
yeah,
sure.
it's let's say it's for me it was at the time was very impressive to be accepted in that school. Definitely, it was a dream come true because I did dream to get in.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of young people's dream. Um,
Yeah,
so you get into the school and you start. I know it's very technical at the beginning. You get all these assignments of like
yeah,
sig balls and turnarounds and stuff.
technical
Um,
and competitive.
but that's the thing. I want to talk about the atmosphere and the vibes there. Like, how is it? Like, how harsh is it?
Um, you know, we as human beings and artists, we tend to compare a lot with others, and so the struggle was more of a, like internal more than external in the end, because people like everybody was happy to be there in the class. Everybody was amazed by the talent in the class and how diverse we were, and for me especially because I was in a French class, and the fact that I got into one of the best schools of in animation, coming from Moldova and like being surrounded by French people was just it was crazy, right?
Yeah.
And but the with time, like I realized that man, people are quite competitive. Like they would work so much, and I was like, man, I worked so much to get into the school, but these people worked way more than me. So I started questioning a lot, like I myself internally and like comparing, and it was harsh, man. Especially that I had also um, to adjust, to adapt to the new culture and to the new language and to the new lifestyle.
Yeah,
um,
it's super difficult.
yeah, but
But
I think
it's not about like the school itself. Like the system is not really, I mean, pushing you too much. There is this general expectation in the air to be excellent.
yes,
Right?
yes, definitely. Like
Because I was
have
there when I got there. I was there for like around 5 months or something like that. It was
yeah.
a semester, and I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was gonna be this intense factory of just like like a ghetto or something. And
How was it
that's
comparing
the thing. When I
to?
got there, it was pretty chill. I was kind of surprised. People were very friendly. The teachers were very social, and the coordinators were great. Like the atmosphere was super good. But when you walk in the hall and you see all these, there's this images of like artwork of previous students, and it's like shit from fucking Pixar and DreamWorks and like your
Yeah, yeah,
favorite character designs from all time.
yeah.
And
There,
it's
but
just in the air, right? You're here in
you
the
are in
school.
fourth year. You are in the last year, so it's different. The people that just get into the school, they have that pressure, to
Yeah,
perform. They have the pressure to like keep the reputation, like to no, not to keep it, but to show that you deserve to be in that school, right?
yeah,
And I do remember I would stress about the exercises, which I mostly failed, but I did learn a lot. I did learn a lot, uh, and I think the pressure somehow went away by the time we started doing group projects. So there was everything changed for me, at least. It was way more interesting because you got to collaborate and actually learn from other students, and to do something more tangible, like real animation projects, comparing to the exercises we would do before. And it was less competitive because you had to work with others, right? uh, and it was rewarding in the end when you saw the finished movies, especially the one we did in second year for the NC festival.
yeah.
When we saw it on the big screen, it was like such an amazing experience and feeling to know that, oh, that's us, we did it, and
Yeah.
it's
I
at this
think
huge
seeing your work.
festival. And
I mean, we're all cinema fans, right? We all love movies,
yeah,
and I
I
think there
hopefully
is something.
hopefully.
I think there is something super special about seeing your work on a big screen. Because I had
Oh
the
yeah.
first time a few months ago when I graduated, I went to the animation workshop, and just seeing the movie I worked on. I only did visual development on it, but
Yeah.
just seeing it on screen with like an audience, it's incredible. It feels it's like it's a feeling. It's hard to really explain what it is because I saw it before on my laptop, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's not the same at all.
yeah. And yeah, it's like, well, it's not compared, of course, but it's like having a child, uh, like your own artistic little child, and you're so proud of it because it's not perfect, because nobody's perfect, but it's yours and you love it, and you put a lot of effort into conceiving it and producing it and getting it to on the screens. And like for our graduation movie, maybe I'm a little bit sensitive, but every time I would watch it with somebody else, not by myself, but with somebody else, uh, I would almost like rewatch it anew. I would feel the same feelings, like um, like the person who is watching with me, and
Yeah, actually,
this is
I feel kind of the same thing every time I like after you post something you've done on social media, like Instagram or
yeah,
something. Then I look at it through the world's eyes, and it's
yeah,
terrifying.
yeah.
I try to not look at it.
Yeah, no, it's man, we're so blessed to do what we're doing, especially
Actually,
at these times, because we can do it remotely, we can do it in the comfort of our home
Yeah,
and
I think
still
it's
love
not
what we do.
being an artist is like it's a great life. I didn't choose it, but I mean, I did had to actively choose it, but like I think it was with me since I was like a kid. It was what I was the most interested in doing.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
and it's not an easy life because especially when you turn it into your profession. Because
But
yeah,
it's
it's
exciting. It's
it's
not
super
easy, but
exciting.
it's
It's very
exciting.
exciting, and it creates satisfaction that I think nothing else can create. Maybe
Yeah.
having a child, an actual child, but
But
yeah,
if it would have been easy, maybe it would have been so interesting, if everything is you would get any job you want, you don't have to work hard, but knowing that you'll get the reward after like all the effort you put in is just an amazing feeling for me at
yeah,
least.
yeah. It's like sports, when you see a movie about like a wrestler or something. Like if he wins in the end, it's only satisfying because you saw all the training montage, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you gotta
I've
build
been
up to it.
thinking about that as well because like I tend to like see UFC fighters or like any sport people like Usain Bolt and like dancers that would dance in an amazing dances, like just jealous. I'm jealous of them, or singers that perform on such a level, And every time I would sit down in front of my screen and start drawing, I would say to myself, "This is my fight. This is my dance. This is my song. This is I'm the warrior now.
You put on the
I
Rocky
have to
music.
perform. Yes, I have to put exactly Eye of the Tiger, because that's what we do, man. We have to strive for excellence in the end, for getting better one day at a time.
Yeah, I think so. And actually, I think it's a lot like I mean, sports is like the most competitive field, right? Like, there's nothing as competitive as like sports, but like
Yeah. Well.
I think we can learn actually a lot from like professional athletes and stuff. Like, I saw an interview with someone most of you probably don't know. Her name is Yael Arad. She's like the first Israeli Olympic champion. Like, she got she
What sport?
judo.
Judo. Oh.
Yeah, and
Okay.
she's like amazing. Also as a person, like I recommend like reading about her. And she said that like her life as a competitive athlete or whatever, it taught her that you need three things. It's like a triangle of things that you need in order to be the best in the world at something. And like the first thing is talent. You kind of have to have some of it because if you're gonna be the best in the world at something, you gotta have a good starting point.
Yeah.
It's not everything; it's just one third of the things. The second thing is what is it? Oh, passion, like the drive. You gotta be fucking get up in the morning and really want it. Because
Yeah.
if you don't have that, you gotta have that to work so much, right? If you don't have that, you're not gonna work as much and you're not gonna put as much effort.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the third thing, she said, it's mental strength. It's basically the ability to go through these low times and just go back up.
Yeah. To
Because you're gonna
bounce
fail.
back
You're
up.
gonna fail a lot. You're gonna have a lot of days where you feel like, is this for me? Am I ever gonna be as good? And I mean, the difference between the good ones and the people who are not as good is that the good people, the people who are good at what they do, they basically got back on track and kept working and kept fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. And I thought one of the points would be discipline, because at school you tend to hate this, like you learn to hate discipline, like starting at an hour, strictly at an hour, and ending at another hour, and doing homework, and you kind of hate it because of the school system. But I learned that without discipline, without sitting down and doing the hours, putting in the hours, you cannot achieve a lot. You have to wake up in the morning, even if you don't feel motivated that day, even you don't feel I don't know, especially creative that day. You have to just sit down and start working. That's something I discovered, like by pushing myself, like, man, you have to do this. No more excuses, because I'm
Yeah.
sick of excuses. You have to just sit down and start working every day, not just one day and like, oh, I worked yesterday, like, today I'm gonna work a little bit less. No, every fucking day, and
Shit, man, you're like
try
a
to.
machine. Jesus Christ.
No, 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 no. Come on, come on.
No, I'm kidding.
Uh,
I'm kind of the same, but I'm
Man,
when you say that, I feel like
there
even
are some people that you never mind, that work so much that comparing to them, we're just, yeah. But we have to do it. What's the other choice? We have to keep hustling.
yeah, yeah, man. So what's your dream actually? Where would you be working in 5 years if your dreams come true?
Oh man, I don't know. If you would have asked me 5 years ago when I was at school, I would like, hey, I would love to be in a on a high-end feature film
Like
at
Pixar, Disney?
Pixar or Disney, like the usual bullshit. Not the studios, but the usual bullshit dream. But now,
Yeah, no,
uh,
they're
I'm
amazing.
sorry.
They're amazing.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Whoever listens to this and wants to get there, you should definitely try and get there because it's not easy to get into, and if you get there, it's a real achievement. But I'm talking about myself in this case, personally. For I think not like professionally, I would want to be happy with what I'm doing, because I don't know about you, but many a times I would feel very um inappropriate and very. How is the syndrome? The imposter syndrome.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Uh, do you know it? Yeah. Uh, I would love to be happy with my art, and I would love people to appreciate what I'm doing. Um, I'm sorry to be very abstract about that because it is for now. I don't have like a very real, tangible, like aim.
Okay.
Uh, I know that I have to work for now and try to get as good as I can in character design. Uh, because before at school I would do a lot. I was not specialized. I would do like storyboard and animation
Yeah.
and background and colors and
So let's say it's not one company or studio or whatever. It's like,
yeah.
mm, what's your dream project? Like, if you could work on
Okay.
any film in history, what would you want to work on?
Okay, this is a more precise question. I appreciate that, and I have an answer for that. If I could work I definitely want to work on feature films. That's if this
You
helps
want to
you.
work on
I
feature?
want to work on feature
Okay,
films.
cool.
Yes, um, as a character designer and or visual development artist. They're
All right.
complementary, personally, I think. But my dream job would be to work on a high-end feature film, but with a great story. Like the classics.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go into the Pixar classics, of course, Up and Ratatouille and Incredibles. A story that works. That touches all ages. From children to adults. Uh,
That's
yeah,
cool. What's your favorite like Pixar movie in terms of design or art direction?
it's a good question, man.
I think The Incredibles is pretty
Which
cool.
one? First one or second one?
I mean, it's kind of consistent in style, but I would say the first one.
Yeah, character design wise, yes, but there. Um, well, it's a great question. I think I love Up in terms of production design because they feel the most like they took a risk, with the square, shapy character.
Yeah.
comparing to other production. I love that about Top. But
You
I
know, when I
love,
first saw, what's the name of the main character in Up, like the grandpa?
man, you're asking hard questions. I
Fredrickson
forgot.
something. Oh shit, it was terrible.
Yeah, Mr. Fredrickson. Yes, it's Mr. Fredrickson or something
But
like that.
yeah, so the square dude, the
The
squarish dude.
square.
When I first saw
Square.
him, I was like, I remember thinking, really, that's like the main character? It's like too simple. But then you watch the movie, and it's working so well.
Well, man, I've been to Barcelona like 4 years ago, like vacation for 1 week, and there was the Pixar exhibition there, and I think it's one of my fondest memories. It was just like a random discovery. I was just walking by, and I saw like the huge poster, like huge banner, like Pixar exhibition, and man, it was just amazing to see like real art from production like Bug's Life, Toy Story, Incredibles,
Oh, it's
and
incredible. I went to
I
the
got so inspired.
I went to the How to Train Your Dragon exhibition in Paris
I've been there too.
last year.
We
Yeah, it was.
weren't we
It's the
together?
first time I
No.
saw Nico Marlet's art and
Yeah.
Carter Goodrich, like originals, and I
I
was,
did not expect an original Carter Goodrich there.
dude, that drawing. It was like two drawings, and they
Two
blew
drawings of
up.
the villain.
Yeah, from the third movie. I was like, holy shit, this is
It's
ah,
huge
it's
paper,
incredible.
right?
What?
It's They were huge, the drawings, like
No,
big
I think
paper.
they were like the size I would imagine them to be, but
It's like A3 or something like this paper size.
how do you think he sketches like on a different page and then he like what's his how does it work? Is he just a genius? Does he just do that and that's the
I don't think he's a genius, but I think he's a hard worker, and man, he has like years and years of experience. I mean, if you get to that point, I think you just start. You visualize it before you draw it. So you just start on that paper and you finish it there. You do not really have to sketch a lot before that.
Yeah, because his
Uh,
stuff is really it's really precise, and also there's a charm of the rendering and everything. And I think
yeah.
you look at the Nico Marlet's drawing, it's like you can see first of all it works in layers, so you can see it's part of the charm of the style, right? But you can see the
Yes.
sketch underneath. It's like in a kind of a warm color and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
see the process in a way.
Yes. Yeah, it was really nice to see Nico's drawings in real life because, like you said, you actually see the layers and like what tools he used and the textures and like the little like when you push with the pencil on the paper, it leaves like the little, how do you call it? It digs into the paper and
Yeah.
like you see that, and it's
It's
really
weird
nice.
because you're
Yeah.
used to like seeing it in a digital form, right? And
Yes, actually, there
it's like a
are not
real
a lot
thing.
of a lot of high definition drawings of Nikos on the internet.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
noticed.
Um, yeah, he's an incredible artist, and you can also tell that both of them they really enjoy the cleanup part or the rendering part. Like they really go into the line work and the color
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah, yeah,
Like the
yeah,
aesthetic is something that excites them.
yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, they're so good. I think we still have a lot to learn to get into their mindset. Like how they conceive a character, and but we're gonna get there, man.
For
With
sure.
hard work. We're gonna
Right.
get there.
I think we need to wrap it up, but it was an incredible conversation. I really had a good time.
Yeah, same, man. I think this is the longest conversation I had in 2 weeks.
I'm just happy to be speaking to people again.
Yeah, definitely, man. You should call this the Corona animation podcast.
It's actually a support group, is what it is.
Yeah, support group. Yeah, you should do like group calls. Not with just one artist. Like invite like 3, 4, and just like discussions, That'd be
Yeah,
nice.
maybe in the future.
And you should, yeah,
And
you
but
should.
any lonely artist out there that hasn't heard his own voice today, you can contact me. I'll give you a show. You can be my guest.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely, man. Thank you for inviting me again, and yeah, I hope I was not very boring.
Yeah, it's a first show, so we'll see how it goes. But nevertheless, I had a great time catching up and talking to you
Yeah.
about what we like doing the best. And yeah, for everyone who wants to check Andrei's art, he has an Instagram account. It's Andrei Sitari, right? You just
Yes.
type in your name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I think you can put it where the podcast is gonna be on YouTube or something like that.
yeah, I'll just write your name there.
Yeah, you just write my name and they'll find it. It's not hard. You just Google.
All right, cool, man. So keep it up and stay in touch.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And good luck with the podcast. Invite amazing people, and I'll listen to it when I work.
Great, man. Thank you.